Hello, TopFanRivalry followers, and welcome to another edition or episode or whatever we want to call it of Astros in Orbit. That's Suzy. I'm Bill. We are going to have a good time. Good morning, Suzy. How are you?
I'm good. I am good. I'm just here hanging out, trying to wake up, you know.
Wait a second. Wait a second. You're 2 hours ahead of me. I mean, waking up.
Well, I mean, I've been awake, but there's a period in time where you have to like re-engage your brain to do the things and make the words and we're getting into that space. So,
Do the things make the words.
yeah.
Um, I wish I could have known you in high school when some teacher asked you a question, you would say, my brain isn't connected yet. I can't do the things, make the words. And your teachers
Oh,
are
yeah,
probably
I
kind
was
of,
I was a much different version of Susie back then. That version of Susie actually liked to talk to people and try and be social and just that it's a whole different version of Susie back then.
whole different version of Suzy.
Whole yes.
Yeah.
Yes, a whole different version.
Are
Mhm.
you that person that walks around or drives around in a car that says people suck with a bumper sticker on it?
No, but my expression on my face says that. So, I don't need a bumper sticker.
I have it on good authority that Suzy does not hug anybody, but I've seen her hug Amber and I've gotten a hug from Suzy. So I know that we're in a special class of people.
Yes. Absolutely.
There's, I think we're in a class of about 14 total people in this world.
That includes my husband and my children. So, yeah. You should feel
Yeah.
very special if you if
There
you
was
if
three
you
right
receive a
there.
hug from me.
There was three right there. So, okay, Miss Suzy, let's talk about the Astros. And so let's start off with what I'm going to call the word of the week or the word of the month for you guys: consistency. You're either very hot or very not. Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, as much as I would love to tell you that, Bill, because I love telling men that they are wrong. However, in this case, you would be correct because unfortunately, our guys, our team in and of itself is like if we can get the one thing going, if we can get like two things going, if like our starter and our bullpen are really good, then our offense doesn't show up. But if our offense and our bullpen is really good, then our starter doesn't show up. Or if our starters are good and the offense is good, like the bullpen blow. Like it's one of those where it's that gif where you turn the things, but then as soon as you turn the thing, the other thing that's what the Astros season has been like thus far. And it's one of those where you're like, can we just not all get on the same page? No, no, okay, cool. We don't want to make any of this easy on us. Love that for us. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So it's been a whole roller coaster, and I'm too old for roller coasters, but apparently this is the life that I lead now. That my mental stability and well-being is connected to 26 men who have no idea who I am, and that's what I've decided to do with my life. So
But you scream at them and say, make me say good things about you.
no, I only say that about Jake Myers. I only say that
Oh,
about Jake Myers. Yeah, because now he's gone on this torrid run, and we've now found out why though. This is my theory, only my theory. This is not the tea or anything. It's just my theory that him and his beautiful wife Maddie are expecting their second child, and so now he's got that big dad energy. You can use those initials however you would like them. And now he's going off. He's like, you know what? I got a second mouth to feed. Arbitration's gonna come up. I gotta make my numbers. And we got to get that bag. That is just my theory. However, that makes me very sad because if you are on the YouTubes and can see the video, you can see who one of my favorite players are over my shoulder over here. That would be one Chas McCormick, who is playing like doo doo, and um, honestly, I think he's going to become a trade commodity. So that's I'm preparing my heart, my mind, my soul, all my emotions
for Chas
eh,
McCormick?
for Chas McCormick, for watching Chas McCormick on another team in another jersey, and that breaks my heart.
There's a song about that. It's called To Live and Die in LA. No, I'm teasing. Would you be a Dodger fan if Chas McCormick came over the Dodgers?
Listen, Bill, this is a PG-13 show over here. It's PG-13 show. So I cannot say the things that I would like to say, but, simply put, I that would be a no. That would be a
That'd
no.
be a heck no. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. Understand, understand, understand. Okay, so we've talked about consistency. I'm going to throw you a bone here. Okay. The Astros, in my opinion, are not as bad as they've been playing. You guys have been bitten by the injury bug, which every team goes through that at some point. But you guys have seemed to get it out of the way early on, especially when you're going through a 29 game out of 30 days string. But you're starting to get people back. Frommer's back, Javier's back. What are your thoughts about these guys coming back? Do you guys turn a corner, or are we starting to see what is going to be the 2024 Astros?
You would think that we were turning a corner. Fromber, unfortunately, h last night's performance was essentially the emotional Fromber that we are, as an Astros fan, kind of accustomed to at this point in time. He just it seems like once he derails just a little bit, he cannot get back on track. And, you know, infamous ground ball Fromber does not give up home runs, and in the span of 1 inning, um, gave up 3, all for very big numbers and, back-to-back home runs. And it came out after the game last night that apparently after the first one, he just said, "You know what? Wheels have fallen off. I'm gonna just call my own game now," which then resulted in the back-to-back home runs. And we're like, "I I'm sorry, what now? What Fromber, why? What are we doing here? What's happening?" And it's just I understand that they are humans, they are not robots, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Uh, but to I mean, after the we were down 6-1 when he gave up a 3-run bomb. So I don't again, this is not a math pod, but I can do simple math, and that would make that score 6-4. So at that
You were
point,
you
you're
were
like,
up. You were up 6-1, not down six to
yeah,
one.
correct.
Okay, keep going.
Correct. We were yeah. And so now it's 6-4, and you're like, "Okay, that we still got a 2 that's still 2 runs, like, we're good, we can do." No, no. Then Fromber's like, "Oh, I already gave up the 1, might as well do more." So, instead of listening to his catcher who had, there was some sort of game plan there, he's like, "No, no, that's fine. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to throw a 76-mile-an-hour curveball over the heart of the plate." They're just gonna launch that one, and then, oh, guess what? Since I can't throw a curveball, oh, maybe I'll throw a fastball over the heart of the plate. So, that turned out beautifully. It turned out so well. So good. Love that for us.
So I
So,
was
it's
I was
yeah.
texting, sorry to cut you off. I was texting one of your friends, one of my friends that we have photos with together. Um, and I said 7 runs in 1 inning. And his response basically, because I hadn't seen the game, I was just looking at it, right? And remember, you guys are playing the Angels. I'm in Southern California. So I'm getting text messages from people going, "Are you watching this?" I had to look it up. And so I text this guy. We'll keep it nameless, but Big Dave. Um, and his response in essence was, "I don't want to talk about
It's it was a nightmare. And unfortunately, this is kind of Farmer's MO. When he's going great, when everything's going his way,
it."
he's gonna shut you down.
Okay.
But it seems like at the slightest mistake and the wheels just come off. And this was kind of the issue a couple of seasons back, and then he got apparently like a mental skills coach
Yeah.
that helped him. So the 21 season, this was kind of the deal. The mental skills coach came in and actually I want to say got hired on by the team And 2022 happened, and you're like, okay, all of it works. Like we got, and then the wheels fell off again. And so I don't know if we need to, I don't know, like uh reemploy said person. I don't know if they are still with the team or what's going on with that. But yeah, it's a whole not good thing when you are up and you're like, "Oh, cool. Like we got this." And then we don't. And then like he smiles about it and you're like, "Fromber, I love you. And I'm an SML person, but I want to pinch you in the face."
So one of the things about what you're saying is something that drives me absolutely batty. And there's a term that I learned when I was pitching it was called pitch to contact, meaning when you have a cricket lead, three or more, right? You do not walk people, you just pitch to contact. You force them to put the ball in play. Because remember, baseball's a game of failure. So out of every 10 at bats, you're going to have only 3 hits with the best of the best players. So the odds are in my favor as a pitcher, right? It drives me nuts this year, Suzy, and I've watched it in Houston. I've watched it in LA. I've watched it all over New York, everywhere. Guys will have a lead. You guys had a 6-1 lead. All he needs to do is just focus on getting outs at that point. Don't walk people, just pitch to contact. Don't get frustrated. Um, the other thing I would say is Frommer is a very good pitcher. Okay. But he is not JV. He is not Clayton. He's not any of the guys that have been pitching for a while that can shut you down or that are going to go to Cooperstown. JV is going to Cooperstown. Clayton's going to Cooperstown. If Clayton or JV said, "This is my game, I'm going to call it," let him. Fromber says, "This is my game, I'm going to call it." I'm going out there going, "No, you're not."
Yeah. Well, and that's I wanna say that one of the first games that him and Yiner caught that kind of imploded, he was trying like, the first couple of innings, he was trying to call his own pitches and then realized it's too much, like, I'm not like, I'm gonna let that part go, I'm going to just listen to the catcher, and it was more smooth sailing,
Mhm.
and I don't know what possessed him at that point. Once we he gave him to be like, "Oh, this is going great. Let me just derail myself even more and call my own pitch." Like I don't know. He listened to the devil on his shoulder versus the angel on his shoulder, apparently. I don't know. But
There,
it was one of those where like we could come back from this. Like we could, but after, when it's 9-4, you're like, "What?" Uh, uh, That's
yeah.
this team this version of the team 9-4 is like insurmountable. I mean, like we came back a little bit and unfortunately we we left the bases loaded because that's great. But you know, when your final score is like 9-7, you're like, oh, all right, yeah, that's great, perfect.
Well,
So
when you score 7 runs, you should win a game. That's that's just so. Now, silver lining, you play in the American League West. The current leader of the American League West is the Seattle Mariners. I believe they're 3 games over 500. You guys are 5 games under 500, and you're only 5 games out of first place. You play in a division that is allowing you to come back in. I have told everybody that will listen, if you're Seattle, if you're Texas, you need to get some wins on the board. Do not wake up the Astros. As soon as you wake up the Astros, it's game set match. Agree or disagree?
absolutely agree. And I was so mad yesterday. I was so mad that I had to root for the freaking Yankees and they let me down. I'm all, really, guys? Like the one time I want the Yankees to win, you gotta lose 5-4. The one.
And they were up like
So
3-0 or something like that at one point.
yes. So I unfortunately these next couple of games have to root for the Yankees so that we can gain some ground again. But the fact that if Seattle had any sort of offense, they would be running away with the division, but they don't. So
So
that I guess good for us. But
So let's hear you say it. Let's go Soto.
absolutely not.
You
Again,
said
this is
you're
a
a Yankees fan.
PG-13 show. This is a PG-13 show, Bill, and I cannot say the things that I would like to say about Juan Soto. Like I can't do that. That's then you're gonna have to put like the E for explicit on the episode, and I know that that's not a thing. So we
Well,
gotta keep it
the
clean.
difference is there's a little E, there's a big E, and there's a really gigantic E. I don't know if they have a big enough E for what you want to say. So we'll just move on from that topic. But the silver lining, the silver lining is that you play in the American League West, and currently the American League West um is not hurting you. Now, if you were in the National League West like you used to be, you'd be 12 games out of first place. Um, and it wouldn't be awesome for you. But you play where you play. Congratulations, that's good. Now, this next week and change or so, this next week before we meet again, is definitely crucial for you guys because you play some sub 500 teams that you should beat up on. Talk to me about your schedule until we meet again.
So we have got 2 more with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of California. I actually don't know how it's what the deal is over there, but we've got the Angels for another 2. We have an off day. Then we have 3 with Oakland, and then at the end of the month, we have 4 with Seattle. That 4 with Seattle, I am pretty sure will make or break our season. And so, I mean, if we can take this series from the Angels and then take the series from Oakland,
Mhm.
like we should, um, I will feel a whole lot better going into that 4-game span with Seattle. However, I learned something new about Seattle.
It's in the
And
Pacific Northwest.
nope, nope, about, what is that, T-Mobile Park? Is that
Yeah.
what Seattle's park is called? Okay, so apparently the batter's eye is crooked in Seattle. If you're a right-handed hitter and you're looking at it, it is crooked. And
Hmm.
so all of the like the big boppers that they got in years past that had really great numbers coming in to Seattle and then didn't have great numbers, and then they moved out of Seattle and now they're putting up numbers again. You're like, "Wait, hold on.
Hallelujah.
Is that a
By
thing?
Noah.
What?" So, when you play apparently half your games and the batter's eye is crooked to you, that's apparently it throws you off. And I was not aware of that. And now when they play, I would be much more cognizant of right-handed hitters in T-Mobile Park.
Okay. And you guys are going to T-Mobile, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So that changes the dynamic a little bit. Now, I'm gonna respectfully disagree saying that that 4-game series with Seattle will make or break your season. The only way that that makes or breaks your season is if you don't win the series with Oakland, with Anaheim, um, and then going into the Seattle series if you get swept. That's the only way that you can't end this month. What I'm trying to say is you can't end this month 9 or 10 games out of first place. It
Hence why
just
I'm saying it's gonna make or break our season. Like, I don't at this point in time, I don't know. I again, the A's are our daddies. I am fully aware of this, okay? Like, I don't know if we're gonna win those games with Oakland. Like, I would love to say with all of the confidence in the world, "No, absolutely, we're gonna go into Oakland and we are going to sweep them." But then I would be lying. So, should we, on paper, go into Oakland and sweep them? Yes. Should we, on paper, sweep the Angels? Yes. But again, this game is played by humans and not robots and not, they're with emotions and feelings and, I don't know how CJ slept. Well, I mean, we're home, so hopefully he slept good and has his good pillow and he won't have a neck issue. Um,
this is good
but
pillow.
like We don't know. We don't know. So again, on paper, our bullpen should have been magnificent. It's not been up to this point. Now, like the last 10 games, it has. It's stabilized and it has been that bullpen that we have come to expect. But, you know, who saw Alex Bregman having a, sub 700 OPS? Like, I mean, we all kind of did, but we never expected to go this level. But the fact that Jeremy Pena has stepped up and has turned into, one of the best shortstops in the AL West, defensive wise and offensive wise now. He stepped it up. Kyle Tucker is tied with Gunnar Henderson, leading home runs in the AL. And so, there's all the talk of Gunnar Henderson being like the AL MVP. And I'm all, but what about Kyle Tucker? No one wants to talk about Kyle Tucker? Cool. All
Well,
right.
so Kyle Tucker doesn't suffer from, so Bobby Witt Jr. has a similar problem. Everybody should be talking about Bobby Witt Jr. Tell me I'm wrong. The guy led the league in triples last season. The guy's hitting over 300. He's got 5 triples this season. Everybody should be talking about this guy, but he plays in Kansas City. The reason why nobody's talking about Kyle Tucker is because of that guy that you have at second base. That's the guy.
Yeah, yes and no though. I mean, because like Altuve's gotten his flowers, Jordan has gotten kind of his flowers, but I think like that's the problem though, is because there are too many names on the team and Houston. Because I guarantee you, if Kyle Tucker was on the Dodgers or on the Yankees, like he would be getting more recognition.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't because he'd get buried in other names. In
Well,
LA,
I'm not. Well, I'm saying if Juan Soto wasn't on the Yankees and Kyle Tucker was like the right fielder for them, like he he would be making a name for himself, and you would be talking about him the way that people are talking about Juan Soto. But again, like the fact that Kyle Tucker is the quiet, like not showy bravado guy, I
yep.
feel is probably like another reason too. But
That Kyle Tucker reminds me a lot of guys like David Wright and Dustin Pedroia. They just go out and they play the game right. They don't go out and be flashy about it. They're not going to bat flip like crazy. They're not going to do stupid stuff. They're
side
just
note,
there to play the game.
you know how there's like after Baseball Susie and before Baseball Susie. So Dustin Pedroia came before Baseball Susie. So I'd always heard the name Dustin Pedroia, and I knew that he, was like on the Red Sox, and I never realized that Dustin Pedroia was short.
Oh,
I had no idea.
yeah. Dude was like Jose Altuve size, like 5'3". The dude
I
was
had
short.
no idea, and I think I heard like a off the cuff comment about Dustin Pedroia's size one day a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, hold on, wait, what? And I had to stop the podcast that I was listening to, and I don't even remember what podcast it was, but I had to stop the podcast and I had to look up how tall he was. Like I had to like Wikipedia it,
Yeah.
and then my mind was blown. I was that emoji with like the that was me.
But here's the thing, Dustin Pedroia, I think he was like 5'6" or 5'7". He was a little guy, but he played like he was 6'4". Like Susie, the dude, every night, if he didn't have his jersey dirty, that meant he wasn't in the lineup that day.
Right.
Like head first slides, like trying to steal bases, diving for balls. Just he was a scrappy guy with this beard that he looked like a lumberjack, kind of like a guy that when you saw him on the street, you go, okay, we'll walk on this side. But he was such a nice dude. So he understood his role. He was always good to kids. He always signed autographs. He was a guy's guy, a teammate's teammate. And unfortunately, injuries took him out. Had injuries not taken him out, it wouldn't have surprised me if he would have gotten about 3,000 hits. That would not have surprised me at all. He was really, really good when he was playing. But again, unfortunately, injuries got to him, just like David Wright. David Wright was very, very good when he was playing. I didn't
Yeah.
know that you
So
didn't know that about Dustin Pedroia.
yeah, I had well again that was before baseball Suzy. So at no point in time was I ever watching Dustin Pedroia. And to be really frank with you, um, people should just be thankful that I actually like recognize the name Dustin Pedroia, because if you didn't play in 2018 on, odds are I'm not really going to recognize your name or what team you played for or what you did, what position you were, all of that fun stuff. So, you know, but as I'm delving in more into various baseball informations and all of that fun stuff, I'm learning. I'm learning. It's a
So
whole new thing.
so 18 and 19, he was injured. He played a combined total of those 2 seasons of 9 games. 15, he was injured. He played 93 games. 20 or 10, he was injured. He played 75 games. In 2008, he had 213 hits. 2009, 185 hits. 2011, 195. Then 163. Then 193. 2016, he had 201 hits. He had 1,805 hits over a 14-year career. Had he been able to play those 4 seasons a little bit longer, he would have easily, easily, the dude would have probably ended up with, I don't know, probably 2,500 hits. I mean, he
Yeah.
was good stuff. They list him at 5'9". I don't believe it. Do not believe it. Anyways, Suzy, take us home. We've talked about consistency. We've talked about the league. We've talked about injury reports. Take us home. What do everybody out there in the universe need to know about the Astros this next week before you and I meet again?
According to Dana Brown and Espada, apparently Jose Abreu is set to make his return possibly as early as the Oakland A's series, and I'm not thrilled with that. John Singleton has been very serviceable at first base, and that's essentially what we needed. I mean, at this point in time, I was really really surprised that they were saying that he was going to come back as early as he was. Honestly, I thought that we were going to. Oh yeah, no, I know. I realize that it's because he's the one getting paid. However, the fact of the matter is we are still digging ourselves out of this hole that was created in part by playing him as much as we did. So I didn't think that we were going to get him back until we were at least out of the hole that we were in, and possibly, you know, not leading the West, but maybe not this far back still. So,
Okay.
granted, the Oakland A's is, quote unquote, a soft landing spot, but then we head into the Mariners series where it's that no, thank you. No, the fact that Big John has come up in clutch situations and has worked a walk, or, has not been essentially a detriment over there, has been a relief. That when he comes up, I'm not cringing and all of my orifices are not just clenched when he comes up to bat, you know?
Could you
So,
please keep him away from Whataburger a little bit, though? The dude looks like he could do one less Whataburger and a little bit more treadmill.
Big John?
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing though. I think Big John is like legitimately a horse. Is like he's big, and I'm 95% sure it's all muscle over there. Like I don't think Whataburger is the problem for him. Like, man is big. It was really funny though cuz he's been our primary first baseman since Jose Abreu's gone down. And Mauricio Dubon took over there for a game, and the fact that they had, Jeremy Pena and Bregman are throwing to John Singleton mainly, and then they got to go to like Mauricio Dubon. You're all
Who's
that's
half the
like
size.
That's like going from, like, a barn to a condo
Yeah,
as far as target. But yeah, Jose Abreu is supposed to come back. I don't agree with it. Urquidy apparently is gonna make another rehab start
I
in
heard that.
Corpus and then make his way back. Chas McCormick was with the team, but has not been activated yet. Outfield again is very crowded because Joey Loperfido has been performing well. Um, so I don't know what's going to happen with our outfield carousel. If Jose Urquidy comes back, I think that pushes Hunter Brown to the pen, I'll be really honest. I think they're gonna keep Spencer Arrighetti up, um,
Spencer again
or
needs to go down.
I I don't know if he will or not.
I know, but he's like 1-8. He hasn't figured out the major league lifestyle yet. Give him a chance to go down, work on some stuff.
Yeah, that's the issue though, because his stuff, I think, actually plays better, and he's one of the ones where I don't know if his issues are gonna get better in AAA. Like, I think he's gonna shine in AAA. Like, he's gonna go down and he's gonna put up the numbers, and then you're gonna bring him back up, and you're gonna still have the issues that you're gonna have now. And so, I don't know. For me personally, I'm more comfortable with Spencer in a starting role and then Hunter in the bullpen. And who knows? Maybe we'll do like a piggyback situation with like both of those, and they'll do like 4 innings each or something. That may be a thing, but
So the only thing that I would ask you to do, and I've made arrangements for this to happen. In fact, you're due at Minute Maid in about an hour. So hopefully you can
perfect.
get there. You will be in the locker room today. You'll be meeting with the manager. Your entire role is to fire him up. Because I'll tell you what, if one of my pitchers got kicked out for rosin, I would have lost my crap. Okay. And the fact that all he did was walk out there and say, "Hey, you guys want to go grab some Buckies afterwards?" That doesn't cut it for me. So I called management. They did say, "Do you have anybody?" And I said, "I got Suzy Q. I'll send her down." They said, "Perfect, no problem. Hope your husband doesn't mind you being in the locker room all day. Don't take pictures. Okay, we don't need to see him. But your job is to fire your manager up. Get him excited. Can you do
Yeah.
that, please?"
Yeah. I trust me, that is my one pain point with Joe Espada. Like just the one, just the one. And yeah, and
Tell
and
me
part
that
of the
didn't make you
issue.
mad. Tell me
Oh,
that didn't
no.
make you
Oh, no.
mad.
It made me so angry. I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, you will know. I live tweet the games. I live tweet the games. And so when that happened, I was so, 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 so angry. But then after the game, like taking a step back and taking the emotions out of it, unfortunately, taking the emotions out of it, and seeing all of the buttons that he pushed afterwards, I don't know if Alex Intron would have made those same moves. You know what I'm saying? So there was still a game to manage, obviously. And
Yeah, but
so like and
mm-mm.
yes, I agree. I agree. Like I needed him to get a little bit more fired up. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. That's like my one pain point with him. It is. It is my one pain point with Joe Espada that uh, I'm pretty sure that it would have gotten physical.
You get fired up, you get your team fired up who's under 500, okay? And you get them excited about different things. I would have walked out there, and you know what I would have said? If you would have kicked my guy out, I would have looked at you and said, "Okay, so you say he's got sticky substance on him, and he says it's sweat and rosin. Did he feel his fingers when he came out last time? Did they feel a little sticky to you? If they felt a little sticky, why didn't you say to him, 'Hey, go wash your hands. If that's sweat and rosin, go wash your hands.'" Okay, because there is no way on earth that they didn't feel it ahead of time. It was sweat and rosin. It just
Yeah, no,
is.
Bill, trust me, you don't want to go down this road with me because like 2 days later, Tyler Glassnow got I don't even know what was on Tyler Glassnow's thumb. Why was his thumb black? Why? Like, but totally okay? Cool. Love that.
Yeah.
Great. Great for
uh
the Dodgers that Tyler
Joe
Glasnow was
Musgrove's
still
ears in the
able to
playoffs.
do the things. Yeah. I
Yeah.
it's I it's a whole thing. I have conspiracy theories. We're out of time, though. I won't get into
Yes.
them here. I won't get into them here.
We'll talk
But
about
yeah,
that later.
it's
Okay, top fans, real quick, so that you know what's happening. This, if you're watching this in the locker room, congratulations, you're watching in the locker room. You know that membership has its perks. Yes, it does. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is like Disney. It's the vault. We're going to put these out for a couple weeks, then we're going to take them back. It's just like kind of like Fantasia. Like we put it out for a couple weeks, get you all excited about it, and then we'll pull it back. So that is Suzy. Follow her on Instagram, follow her on Twitter. She has a fantastic baseball mind. I could brag about this woman for an hour. After interviewing her one time, I offered her her own show on our platform because she's just that good.
I mean,
So,
who wouldn't want that sparkling personality? But come on now.
I mean, I'm telling you. Do we need a list or no, 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 we're not making this.
I mean, you could
Okay.
keep going. You can just.
But follow her. Make sure you're subscribing to her on YouTube and also Top Fan Rivalry. Follow us on Twitter. Make sure that you're subscribing to YouTube. These will only be here for a couple of weeks and then they're gone. They're going back into the locker room. So, Suzy, thank you so, so much for everything that you do. Go Astros. That's hard for a Dodger fan to say, but let's do it again next week.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right.
Bye, Bill.